When complex legal matters arise, you need more than advice. You need strategy, speed, and certainty. Pryor, Zarnis & Wallace Law Firm can help by offering expert services across commercial law, dispute resolution, property, and estate planning, and more. So whether you're growing a business, protecting your assets, or navigating a legal challenge, Pryor, Zarnis & Wallace's team delivers practical, results-driven solutions. For trusted legal support, visit ptwlaw.com.au today. There's no ouzo talk without a bottle of ouzo, which is why we love the Greek providore. Get a real taste of the very best produce that Greece has to offer. From olive oils and delicious artisan sweets, to unique spirits, earthy herbs and memorable wines. Visit thegreekprovidore.com.au to see their delicious range. The Greek Providore, proud sponsors of the Ouzo Talk podcast. G'ya σας and welcome to Greek News Global. I'm Tom Skolarikis. In this bulletin, a 21-year-old Greek Australian dies in a motorcycle crash on Kalymnos, tensions between Greece and Turkey escalate, Greece moves closer to celebrating citizens abroad, and the Greek Australian joining a top-flight Greek basketball club. John Mangos will be returning next week. But first, a 21-year-old Greek Australian has died in a motorcycle crash on the island of Kalymnos. Michael Kavouklis was reportedly on holiday on the island and had been celebrating his 21st birthday. Police found him unconscious on a road at around 6 a.m. on Wednesday, with his motorcycle nearby. An ambulance rushed him to Kalymnos Hospital, where doctors treated him for his injuries, but he died a short time later. Kalymnos police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the crash. Greece's Foreign Minister Yorgos Herapetritis has issued a blunt warning to Turkey, saying Athens is absolutely ready for every scenario and will defend its sovereign rights by any means necessary. The comments follow Turkey's declaration of two marine parks in the North Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean, areas Greece says overlap with its sovereign rights and continental shelf. Herapetritis defended Athens' calm waters policy, saying it was never an end in itself, but gave Greece time to strengthen its position. He pointed to fewer airspace violations, reduced migration, economic growth in the Eastern Aegean, and a stronger military, including Rafale jets, upgraded F-16s, and Belhara frigates, with F-35s expected. He said Greece is now at the peak of its power, but Herapetritis stressed dialogue with Turkey remains open, saying the Athens Declaration still provides a framework for engagement. The message from Athens, however, is clear: restraint does not mean weakness. Turkey is demanding Greece get Ankara's approval before laying an undersea electricity cable linking Greece and Cyprus. Turkish sources, cited by Sky correspondent Manolis Kostidis in Istanbul, say any survey or cable-laying work in waters where Turkey claims jurisdiction must first be cleared through diplomatic channels. Ankara says this is standard international practice, pointing to the Blue Raman fibre optic cable as a precedent. But Greece says the Greece-Cyprus electrical interconnection will go ahead as planned, with French energy giant Meridiam involved and the project backed by the Greek government. Turkish officials are warning that proceeding without coordination could trigger tensions similar to those seen off Kassos. The dispute highlights the deep divide between Athens and Ankara over maritime boundaries in the Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean, with Turkey's continental shelf claims rejected by Greece and the European Union. Still on the issue with Turkey, and Greece's plan to establish a UAV base in Rhodes would violate the island's demilitarized status and harm peace and stability in the Aegean, as well as good neighbourly relations, according to Turkey's defence ministry. The ministry said that any attempt to violate this regime is incompatible with Greece's obligations under international law. It also said Turkey would continue to resolutely protect its rights and interests deriving from international treaties. At the same time, the Turkish Defence Ministry welcomed a decision by the Greek government to move Patriot air defence systems from Karpathos to Crete, calling it a positive step toward reversing the island's militarization in violation of international treaties. West Nile virus infections are surging across Greece, with the Attica region at the epicenter of the outbreak. The season's first case was recorded in late June in northern Athens. Experts say 2026 is shaping up to mirror 2018, when Greece recorded a peak of 317 cases and 51 deaths. Transmitted primarily when mosquitoes bite infected migratory or local birds and then bite humans, the virus is not spread person to person. Researchers note that infected mosquitoes were detected even during winter, indicating year-round circulation. At this stage, Greece has reported 232 locally acquired West Nile cases and 19 related deaths during the 2026 transmission season. The European Commission has adopted Greece's €4.8 billion social climate plan to support vulnerable households, transport users and micro-enterprises in the clean transition between 2026 and 2032. The plan, which will use the revenues from emission allowances to advance the clean transition and support vulnerable consumers and enterprises, was developed by the Greek authorities together with the Commission. Greece not only becomes one of the first 5 member states to have their plans approved, following Sweden, Lithuania, Latvia and Malta, but this is also the largest national plan adopted under the Social Climate Fund to this date. Greece is moving closer to officially recognising April 29 as the Day of Greeks Abroad. The initiative, first proposed in 2021 by the cultural association Hephaestus Wien and backed by Greek diaspora organisations around the world, has now received official support from Greece's foreign ministry. In a letter sent on August 18, the ministry told Hephaestus Wien President George Strain that the proposal aligns with the government's priority of strengthening ties between Greece and the global Greek community. The ministry says administrative procedures are already underway, with legislation expected to be submitted to Parliament in the coming months. A coordinated program of events is also being planned in Greece and across the diaspora. Supporters say April 29 would provide a permanent annual occasion to celebrate the contribution of Greeks abroad, preserve Hellenic language and culture, and strengthen connections between generations. Hephaestus Wien says the diaspora is not simply part of Greek history, but a dynamic force shaping its future. 3 Greek breweries are raising a glass after winning gold at the 2026 World Beer Awards. Pinios Brewery from Larissa took gold in the Hoppy Pilsner category for its Pinios beer, named after the famous river flowing through the region. On the island of Tinos, Nissos won gold for its strong porter, 7 Beaufort, and in Patra, Amousa claimed the top honour in the tropical stout category. The wins represent one of Greece's strongest showings yet at the international competition, highlighting the growing reputation of Greek craft beer. So while Greece may be better known for ouzo and wine, it seems the country is also becoming a force to be reckoned with when it comes to beer. And you can hear Ouzo Talk's feature episode on Greek beer, including ratings of all their favourites in their Season 4 finale right here on the Ouzo Talk channel. To Melbourne now, where lawyer and Greek community advocate Dean Kalymnos is warning proposed changes to Victoria's interpreting services could put elderly Greek Australians at risk when accessing public hospitals. Kalymnos has written to Victorian Premier Ben Carroll, raising concerns about the Multicultural Victoria Amendment Bill, now before Parliament. He says many elderly Greek Australians rely on professional interpreters to understand diagnoses, give informed consent, and navigate complex or long-term treatment. Kalymnos is particularly concerned the changes could affect experienced in-house hospital interpreters, who can build familiarity and trust with patients over years of treatment. He's asking the government to exempt effective in-house interpreting teams from any requirement to use VITS language loop. He also wants health services, clinicians, interpreters and multicultural communities consulted before any changes are introduced. For elderly migrants facing serious illness, he says, familiarity and trust can be critical to effective healthcare. A wedding in Crete has gone viral, and it's easy to see why. Christina Aggelaki and Steve Jansen arrived at the Church of Saints Peter and Paul in Arvia on Saturday with Christina in her wheelchair, only to receive a very Cretan welcome. The local priest stepped outside and broke into a traditional madinada, a rhyming Cretan couplet, calling on the Virgin Mary to come down to Arvia and bless the newlyweds. Christina and Steve were visibly moved. Guests had travelled from across Crete and overseas, and footage of the celebration has now spread across Greek social media. Proof perhaps that when a Cretan village throws a wedding, It really throws a wedding. To sporting news now, and St George Basketball continues its reputation as a leading basketball association for player development and pathways, with Saints guard Lukas Triandis signing a 2-year professional contract with Koroivis BC in Greece. The 24-year-old Greek-Australian point guard will join the Greek-based club ahead of their 2026-2027 season, adding another exciting chapter to his basketball journey and providing further evidence of the growing opportunities available to St George basketball players. Standing at 1.85 metres, Triandis was born and raised in Sydney, but has developed his basketball career both through the Australian and American basketball systems. And that's it for this edition of Greek News Global, recorded on the 28th of August 2026. I'm Tom Skolarikis. Γεια σας και καλή συνέχεια.